Hey, this is Jeffrey from GoodHealthAdvocate.com, and today we're going to make a red pepper cashew cream. Okay, so first we need some red peppers. Now the way that you cut these really isn't important. You can pretty much just chunk these guys up because they're all going to get blended in the end. So we're really just kind of taking out the seeds, and then we'll just go ahead and chunk these up. Now I'm going to make a half of the recipe that's on my website because I just live here by myself, so I don't need to make enough. I don't need to make 3 or 4 cups of sauce. Just 1 or 2 cups of sauce is more than enough for me. So really I'm probably only going to use about 1 pepper here. Let's go ahead and use the whole thing. And let's go ahead and make chunks out of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and gather all of this in my steamer over here, which I just have set up. So we'll go ahead and put that in the steamer basket. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing with this onion. Just peel it and cut it into some chunks. Now if you're cooking for at least 2 people, I would say go ahead and make the full batch recipe. But I know right now if I make a whole batch, or the full batch, it'll pretty much just go bad in my refrigerator. So there we go, we got my onions and bell peppers in my steamer. We'll go ahead and put the lid on this, and I'll head over to my stove and we'll go ahead and steam this off. Okay, so we're over at my stovetop now. I just turned the burner on, so we're going to give this about 10 minutes to come up to a boil and go ahead and steam my vegetables off. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and our onions and our red bell peppers have been steaming for 10 minutes. Maybe you can see inside there that, see if I can zoom in a little bit. That our onions are starting to get a little bit translucent. Now another way to tell if they're done is if you try one of the onions and it just tastes sweet. There's no really strong sulfur flavor to it. It just tastes nice and sweet, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out of my basket and transfer them into my blender. Okay, so I got my onions and peppers in the blender, and now I'm going to add 1 cup of my vegetable broth, reserving a little bit in case I need to thin it down a little bit. I have a half cup of cashews, about 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, and we'll go ahead and blend this up. So my broth was cold, but my vegetables were hot, so there is a little bit of heat left in here, and the last thing you want to do when you're blending something really hot is just to pull it on full blast, because often it just ends up exploding all over you, and worst case scenario, burning you pretty badly. So what I recommend is you put your hand over the top. Works really good with a towel, so that way it kind of disperses any steam and it doesn't really burn your hand. And then just pulse it a few times and then let it run full blast. Alright, well I let the blender run for a few minutes. I didn't want to put you through all that noise. With a Vitamix, you really only have to blend that for about 30 to 45 seconds. With my blender, that's about 1/10 the price of a Vitamix. It took a few minutes. So it's pretty smooth. And this is a really great sauce for eating with other grains. It does have about 50% of the calories from fat because of the nuts that we used. So if you're trying to stick with an 80-10-10, basically your low-fat vegan diet, then make sure you eat this with something that's, most of the calories, 90% or so of the carbohydrates, that is 90% carbohydrates, and probably 0 fat or very, very low fat would be good, because you're obviously going to be getting most of your fat and protein from this. So it would go really great with a grain and vegetable dish that you know, all by itself has, you know, very little or no fat. But there you go. That's our red pepper cream, red pepper cashew cream. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you'll tune in for my next video.